Welcome back to Donald Duck has a brain aneurysm.
When we left off, I was just about to start a spiel explaining the catastrophe and the disastrous end of the Amazing Spider-Man franchise.
Speaking of disastrous ends.
Yeah, we just witnessed one.
Why? Donald, why? Why is this speed up? Okay, I made it.
I desperately wanted you to die so I could add, and here's another one.
Not yet.
Yeah.
They're still
But yeah, so it's no secret. I think that anyone who's familiar with the Amazing Spider-Man movies, I think everyone is familiar with the fact that the second one was not very well received. I wouldn't say it's fucking awful.
I hated it.
Because there are elements of it that I enjoy. But definitely. And since the film's come out, more and more it seems that there was a lot of like behind the scenes interference, as I think Sony was putting a lot of pressure on the film to basically start their own cinematic universe to compete with the MCU. The problem was like they didn't plan it at all, they completely rushed it. So you had this film that was suddenly bogged down by all of this exposition that came out of fucking nowhere. But also, like, Andrew Garfield has said since that, like, apparently the film was actually supposed to be longer, and a lot of, like, integral scenes for character arcs were just cut out. And, yeah.
No.
Like, the film was already, like, 2 hours and 20 minutes or something.
No.
And apparently it was supposed to be longer.
Why?
Honestly, it kind of sounds like Sony did to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 what Warner Brothers did to Justice League. Like, it seems that like they made the movie, and then in post-production they cut out a bunch of important scenes and re-edited the film together to try and make it a more light-hearted, essentially commercial for a cinematic universe that ended up never happening.
It wasn't the after credits scene for the Amazing Spider-Man. Oh no, I didn't get the piece. Wasn't it literally just like a trailer for X-Men? Oh my god.
No.
No?
I don't remember. Was there an after-credit scene for Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I think it was... I could be wrong. It could have just been a joke that someone told in a review of it. But I think it was literally just an ad for the X-Men movie that was coming out.
No, yeah, there was an after-credit scene for Amazing Spider-Man 2. But it was literally like, in Amazing Spider-Man 1, you had the post-credit scene was the old dying Norman Osborn talking to his lawyer, and then in Amazing Spider-Man 2, you had that same lawyer, except he was instead walking through this Osborn facility with all of the equipment hinting at the Sinister Six. Right. You know, Doc Ock's arms, the stupid Rhino robot, the Vulture wings.
I think you mean the best robot.
Yeah, who the fuck looked at Paul Giamatti and said, yeah, let's get that guy to play Rhino?
Make him a robot.
Like, Paul Giamatti is such a great actor. You could have done so many good things with him. And you decide Rhino? Like, I don't know, here's an Oscar-winning actor. Let's have him play, literally, the two-dimensional muscle. But
his
even then, like,
muscles are three-dimensional.
But even then, there's more to it. Even after the disastrous reception to Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Sony Spider-Verse still wasn't dead. They still wanted to launch it. But they screwed the pooch because they had all sorts of behind-the-scenes troubles getting the rest of these movies started and on board, and getting people on board after Amazing Spider-Man 2 failed. And then to make matters worse, they fired Andrew Garfield seemingly out of nowhere. They've never released an official reason for why he was quote unquote let go.
It's kind of weird to.
But after the Sony hack in 2014, the emails were found of executives talking about Andrew Garfield, complaining about him not showing up to an event in Rio where supposedly they were going to announce Amazing Spider-Man 3, saying that Andrew Garfield complained of illness and they didn't believe him.
Just didn't believe him, so they...
So, like, I find it hard to believe that they would purely fire their Spider-Man because he didn't attend a single event. I suspect there was more behind-the-scenes fighting, since Andrew Garfield has been very on the record about his dislike for how the Amazing Spider-Man films were handled. Like, he even going on board as to say that he was naive of the process of making big blockbuster films, and also saying, and literally saying that, like, he came on board because he wanted to do justice to the character he'd been dressing up as since he was 3. And he felt just a little heartbroken after, in post-production, he felt executives took out scenes that really were important to the heart of the character.
Okay.
And he's also stated that he was interested that if Amazing Spider-Man 3 or any sequels were to happen, he wanted Peter Parker to be canonically bisexual and have Mary Jane be played by Michael B. Jordan.
I think they already had an actress for her, though.
No, yeah, they hired Shailene Woodley, but then they cut her out of the movie.
Oh, yeah, they did. I forgot about that, because it was, like, announced in a magazine I had read years before the movie actually came out that she was going to be playing Mary Jane, and then I saw the movie and forgot that she was supposed to be a part of it.
There. But consider how much more hilarious that makes Andrew Garfield's comment. Like, he must have met her on set. He knew that they hired her to play MJ, and then she gets cut out of the movie, and he goes on the record saying Peter Parker should be gay
and
date a guy.
Like,
that's fucking hilarious.
Maybe he was just... It seems like they didn't get along.
I mean, yeah, but, like, Andrew Garfield's also been a very staunch ally, so I'm sure his reasons were also genuine.
I mean,
and also, I suspect part of the reason he got fired.
Like, there's other people that Peter Parker dated, though, so it didn't need to be much.
Not yet.
He dated
it was
Betty
more just
Brant?
like, I think it was more it was more just like the alignment of wanting MJ to be played by the actor Michael Jordan.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Because, like, that is kind of funny, especially if the movie doesn't, like, explicitly mention what Mary Jane's initials stand for. That's kind of tongue-in-cheek. But yeah, so
I mean,
after firing it...
Other than Michael Jordan.
What? That would be hilarious. What if, like, the guy equivalent of Mary Jane was actually named Michael Jordan?
I'm sure there's an internet of that.
There's literally a commercial that Tom Holland starred in about that joke. Have you never seen that commercial?
I have not seen very many commercials since TV has become less of a thing.
Well, I only saw them because it was literally in the theater before Spider-Man: Homecoming was played. It was literally like him attending one of Tony Stark's parties and saying that MJ was going to be there. So it was like, oh, they're teasing Mary Jane, and no, it's literally Michael Jordan, the basketball player that Peter Parker was talking about.
I need to get the check point before I do whatever. Is it just the toy up here? Okay, I don't care about the toy.
Yeah, man.
Toy is stupid.
So yeah, at that point, they had fired their Spider-Man. They had low prospects for ever seeing this cinematic universe build itself, and so they made a deal with Marvel to put him in the MCU, because at that point, that was the better deal.
Do they get, like, a certain amount of money off of every movie that comes out of there?
Yeah, they get all the money.
Oh, Disney doesn't get any?
Yeah.
Do they get, like, toy money or something?
Disney gets merchandising and distribution. Okay.
So it's like the Lucas agreement.
But outside of that, they just get like a 15% share of the total gross from the movie. That's actually why the whole Disney-Sony Spider-Man debacle happened last year, remember? When Disney threatened to pull Spider-Man out of the MCU?
I vaguely remember that.
Well, yeah, so basically what happened was the original deal was for, I think it was 5 movies, 2 independent Spider-Man films, and 3 group films. And so with Homecoming, Far From Home, the Infinity War Endgame, and Civil War, the contract was up, so it came time to renew the contract.
Really?
Sony wanted to renew the contract with the same terms because it had been working for them, but Disney went, no, fuck you, we want to change the terms. And so the original terms for the contract was that Sony made the films with Kevin Feige coming on as a producer and a creative consultant.
Mm-hmm.
The Disney then gets the marketing rights and gets all of the merchandising rights and all of the merchandising money. But other than that, they only get a 15% share of the film, and that makes sense since Sony is responsible for funding and making the film.
Doing everything,
Yeah, literally doing everything. So Disney then goes, fuck you, we want everything to be the same, but instead of a 15% share, we want a 50% share. And Sony rightfully said that is completely unreasonable. We're not going to give you half the money for a film that we are 100% responsible for making. And so Disney then said, well, if you don't, then Spider-Man's no longer in the MCU. And so then they ran a bunch of basically a smear campaign through news outlets saying that because Sony was refusing to agree to their terms, Spider-Man would no longer be in the MCU. So thousands of sheeple fans started harassing Sony on Twitter, I'm pretty sure even sending some death threats to them over costing Spider-Man being in the MCU, which was probably one of the most shady Disney moments in recent history. Disney absolutely knew that by publicly acknowledging Sony not agreeing to the deal and blaming them for Spider-Man no longer being in the MCU, people would flip out. However, they just forgot to take into account the fact that they may be Disney, but Sony's still a much bigger company, and it didn't work. Yeah.
Really?
It's hard to believe, but
I guess because they don't like PlayStation and stuff.
Well, yeah, it's hard. They're not quite as noticeable as Disney, because Disney's
Disney is entertainment.
The Disney Business Corporation is so iconically associated with the Disney creative output.
Yeah.
But it's hard to. So because of that, you forget Sony is fucking huge. It owns so much.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they have appliances and stuff that they sell too, don't they?
Yeah, they have appliances, musical instruments. I'm pretty sure cars.
Cars.
It's it's insane. They own so much. But yeah, so eventually Disney agreed to the original terms and kept the deal going.
He's on the out. Oh, there's the exit. Oh.
I'm not sure what is it about Spider-Man that makes him that gives him the most tomfoolery around his cinematic universe.
Is this?
Yeah, true, but the Superman movies don't have nearly this much drama around them.
I think that's just because Marvel did get split up. So there's a lot of problems.
Okay, yeah, I guess that is true. That is true.
I just jumped all the way over. Okay, I'm not getting those little stars. Oh,
okay, Donald not getting sucked into that portal looks so violent when the screen starts lagging. His body parts just gotta slowly start disappearing.
Yeah. Alright, boss battle next time. Cutting this one short a little bit.
Yeah, good place to leave off. Stay tuned
Right
next time.
the
Epic final battle of Donald Duck's bloody quest for vengeance.
Is this the actual final villain? I thought it was someone else.
I mean, I think this has to be. It's the final boss of the final world. Unless they have someone hiding.